Să vă fie de bine. Sper că ați mâncat cu toții. O să-i rog pe cei care sunt încă în spate să revină dacă doresc. Vreau să vă rețin cu două chestiuni. Pentru cei care sunt aici de față, în spate puteți găsi DVD-urile de care a vorbit Brett. Le puteți cumpăra. Ca idee sunt cu 30% mai ieftine decât pe site, decât online. Deci e o oportunitate bună dacă vă gândiți să-l luați acum și nu să așteptați după. De asemenea, pentru mâine, și asta e și pentru cei care ne privesc online, mai sunt câteva locuri, puține locuri pentru workshop-ul pentru profesioniști. În cazul în care vă gândiți să participați, o să vă rog să ne spuneți cei care sunteți aici, să ne veniți să ne spuneți. Cei care sunt acasă să trimită un e-mail la nikonexpo@skin.ro. Vă va răspunde cineva. Costul acestui workshop este de 150 de euro. Ceea ce vom face în această a doua parte nu va mai ține chiar atât de mult ca prima parte. Sperăm să nu vă plictisiți. Câțiva dintre voi, 30 și ceva dintre voi, au înscris fotografii de nuntă care vor fi discutate. Așa că cei care sunteți aici în sală și ați înscris fotografii, chiar vă rog să puneți întrebări și să scoateți cât mai mult din această întâlnire, pentru că până la urmă ăsta a fost scopul. Să deveniți fotografi de nuntă mai buni. Așa că, Brett,
yes.
I told them what we're going to do now.
Cool.
So we'll talk about the pictures, and they can ask you if the person that has that picture is in the room. He can ask you things about the picture.
Okay.
Thank you.
Before we start chatting about the images over here, one thing that I'd like to say is, as a photographer entering the market, or as somebody who's been around for a while, I think it's really important to make yourself vulnerable so that you put your work forward. Is everything cool? I must move across. Okay. I think it's really important to make yourself vulnerable, to let other people look at your work. If any of you were here last night, Nikolai was chatting about the fact that your friends and your family think that you're fantastic, but it's about your paying client. So I think it's very important to make yourself vulnerable. And to all the people who did submit images, you've already taken a step in the right direction by at least putting your work out there for people to see. So thank you very much for doing that and allowing us to look at your images. And I'm going to chat about them, and I'm going to offer my opinion. It's my opinion. It doesn't mean it's the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it. It's just my thought process behind your images. So let me have a look at a few of these images. Am I okay here? Good. I'm going to chat about these images probably for about half an hour, and then there were some people online who need to get some prizes, and then some guys are in the audience that need to get some prizes as well. So that's to make you stay, so that you don't run away and go home. All right, so can we have a look at my screen on the screen, please? Thank you, sir. Okay, just having a look at this image over here, you can see, first of all, what jumps out at me is the fact that it was shot with direct flash. And you can see that from the shadow on the back wall here, and the exposure on the subject looks like it was shot with TTL flash. Now, that's not necessarily a really bad thing. The thing that you need to understand is that people entering the market, if they go and buy a camera and buy an SB 910 or an SB 900, they can put that flash onto the camera, take a picture with TTL, and they can get a similar result. You want your work to look different to what average people buying a DSLR for their own domestic kind of work can create. So I would avoid direct flash, and I've had a look through some of these images, and there is quite a lot of direct flash work around. Now, to avoid the direct flash, obviously you can bounce it off a wall or off a ceiling or something like that, but If you're outdoors, you don't necessarily have the ceiling and the walls, so you can use a reflector. You can use a reflector to bounce your flash. You can have your assistant. You can have your assistant standing next to you holding the reflector, and I'm shooting with flash bouncing into the reflector, and the assistant is directing that flash towards the subject, making it look like it was shot with off-camera flash, not on-camera flash. So that would be my comment about this image over here. Is the person that shot that image here? If you are, okay. If you do want to talk about your picture, then we can talk about it. If you feel that you've heard what you need to hear, and I say, is that person here, and you keep quiet, that's cool. You don't have to say that you were the photographer. Do you agree with my comments, or you happy?
Yes, correct. For this wedding, I was invited. I was not the main photograph.
Oh, you were a guest.
Here you see the two looking for the main photograph.
Okay.
And I was just invited, no reflectors, no, just the camera,
Okay.
just to have fun for this wedding.
Yeah.
And that's right. Everything you said, it's okay. I saw it after in my Lightroom.
Sure.
And I saw everything, but I just want to put it for the glare.
Yes,
Because many people avoid it.
Yes, but you like it.
I like it very much, and that's why I put it like this. There is no modifying made on this picture, just a little crop, and that's all. I just wanted to put it like it was shot it, just to...
Yeah, and I like flare too. You know, so if your client likes flare, then that's cool. Then use it. Just avoid the direct flash.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's have a look at this shot. I really like the movement and the dragging of the shutter in this image. There's a good use of flash here. It's probably bounced off the ceiling because you can see that this shadow over here is coming from a light source that is higher up. So the photographer bounced the flash off the ceiling, and the light's coming down, and drag the shutter. Nice bit of movement in the shot, and I think it works as a really nice party type of shot. Anybody want to chat about this? Everybody happy? Cool. Okay, this is a really nice image. I like obviously this is an ancient form of transport, and it's quite it's not that ancient. Somebody told me yesterday this is an ancient form of transport, but I like the quirkiness about it. I like the fact that it's quite playful. What I would worry about here, and what I would watch out for here, the composition I think is really nice with the rule of thirds over here. The only thing is that it's so easy to fix. Is it's slightly tilted downhill, so it feels as if the bride and groom are going downhill, and maybe he has to run a bit faster because these guys are. So all I would do really is straighten this horizon, so that you have an image where it's a little bit straight. But I like the sky. I like it's quite a he looks like he's quite a romantic guy, and she's having a lot of fun, and it's a nice quirky image. The composition's really nice. The sky is really nice. So I like that image. I personally don't fully understand this image. I like the off-camera flash. There's definitely some off-camera flash illuminating the subject here, making the sky nice and structured, and it's popping out. I do have a small problem with the red building over here, because your eye is automatically drawn to red. So the first thing when I opened this picture that I looked at was not the bride and groom, it was this red building over here. So perhaps, unless it's a building of significance, maybe it was a reception or something like that, but the composition is nice with the rule of thirds over here. The sky is really nice, and the use of off-camera flash I think is really nice as well. Anybody want to talk about that picture, comment about that picture? We all good? Cool. This image here, just be careful having things that appear to be growing out the heads and the bodies of your subject. The reason why this is happening is because you're probably shooting this at f8 or f11, maybe something like that, and your background is very much in focus. So everywhere is in focus. You're not separating your subject from the background. Maybe come back a little further away from the windmill so that you have the differential between the windmill and the background, so that your subject and your background are separated, rather than having it feel like it's right on top of the bride and groom, and maybe with that windmill turning around could hit them. So, just think about things like that. This image here, everybody here knows what this is about. It's the kissing of the Bible. Of an icon. I thought that's a big Bible. Okay, so it's part of your custom and part of your culture. From there, I can't really see what I'm looking at. So, to show somebody who doesn't understand the culture, perhaps I would have gone around the other side. I know that you can't move around the church too much, but just in terms of presentation, there's too much white going on here, and I don't really know what she's doing. The composition is nice. It's not dead center over here. I just think that it could have been shot a little bit more in a way that allows me to see what's going on, because you guys know what's going on. I don't know what's going on there. Shooting details, obviously, it's really important. I like the shallow depth of field here, background out of focus, and then obviously the detail is nicely in focus. The only thing that we've got a small issue with here is perhaps the composition. So instead of having your main point of focus over here, I think it should be over there. So you've got your rule of thirds working across the page there. So your subject should perhaps be just over there. But that's easy. This one is easy to fix with your cropping a little later. Questions, comments? This either means I'm doing a very bad job or a very good job. Guys, I understand that some people might be giggling at this picture. What we have to understand is that the photographer has made themselves vulnerable. So we need to look at it in the context of that. Here, my only issue is perhaps I would have had the bride and groom over the top, so they're looking over the railing instead of having their heads through, because it could give the impression that they're going for execution. Okay, but guys, if it is your photo, then don't feel that I'm being negative about your picture. You had the guts and you were brave enough to allow 12,000 people online look at your picture. I'm joking, but you were brave enough to do that. So I commend you. Very cool. This image here, just be careful when you want to show the horizon, where you've tilted the horizon, because especially with water, now we feel like, where's that water going to go? Okay, the pose is very nice. The light coming through his head, through his hair is gorgeous. I would have shot this really, really low down, like almost shooting through the grass, so that you've got a shallow depth of field on your subject and your background is out of focus, separating your subject from your background. This is a nice detail shot. I think that perhaps you could crop this and go in tight over here, and that's what it's all about. I like the composition over here with your rule of thirds, placing the subject on this point where the rule of thirds dissect, and there's a nice atmosphere and a nice mood going on here. I just think that he's a bit heavy, in the picture. He's a bit dominant in the picture because I want to look at this. I don't want to look at this area over here. That's a beautiful use of natural light. You can't flash this from up there, so it's a really nice overview of what's going on, and I like the kind of angelic look coming from the front of the church, and the color retention is beautiful here. The photographer maybe was on a tripod, but I think that in terms of your composition leading into the picture, that's really nice. It's a very interesting image, and I think it's a great shot. This shot over here, there's nice interaction between the bride and the groom. There's a nice moment. You can see that the photographer didn't use flash. It's an available light shot, and it's a moment. It's just a moment that's happened, and the use of the longer lens as well. You can see that the background is nicely out of focus. The client is happy with that. The client's there's no reason why the client's not going to be happy with that shot. This shot is nice and moody. I really like the fact that she's not looking necessarily into the camera. She's looking away from the light. I like the veil over her face. I like the composition with her eyes across the rule of thirds. It's a really nice shot. It's nice and moody, and yeah, you've captured the essence of the bride there. This shot over here, you can see again that the photographer has used an aperture that could be perhaps f8 or f11. It's a bright sunny day. You can see the problems that we had over here with the shadows, like when we were on the beach. Those darker shadows, the contrast is quite heavy, and you can see that the dress is blown out. The detail in the dress hasn't been retained. So the lighting conditions were not ideal, and because of the bright light, your camera, if you're shooting it on program mode, or if you don't have and P is program mode. P is not professional mode. Okay. So keep bear in mind that if you are going to shoot that with a smaller aperture, your background will become in focus, and then your subject is not separated from your background. That's cute. That's nice. That's really cool. Nice shallow depth, nice use of the shallow depth of field so that your subject is a little bit soft. I like the black and white. It's quite classic. It lends to, thank you, it lends to a nice romantic, nostalgic image, and nice and happy. I think that if you were in more control of your lighting, this highlight here on her face is the only thing that could be holding this image back with regards to making it a perfect image. But because it's soft, you can get away with it. Because it's a little bit soft, you can get away with it. I think this was, well, I don't know, I can't see how this was lit, but perhaps it was the last rays of sun in the afternoon, because the shadows look quite harsh. It's not a soft shadow, but what's confusing to me there is that the background is darker. So I don't understand exactly how the photographer lit this, but we got the same issues that we had with the direct light on the beach, where you've got dark lines here, and these highlights and shadows here, and then the dress is blown out. That dress designer, the gown designer, if you send them pictures where you've lost detail in the highlights of the dress, they're not going to use it in their advertising. So when you're shooting the dress, it's very, very important to retain the details in the highlights. Composition's off a little bit here as well. Right in the middle of the picture, if you had the subject over here, it would have been a little bit better for composition. That's a lovely moment. I like the is this rice? I like the rice falling nicely here. There's a little bit of a shutter drag over here. It's really, really nice. I like the moment that's happening here. My only issue, and please don't take this personally if it's your photograph, my only issue is that it looks like this child's about to stab the mother. It's probably a rattle. It's probably a rattle, but it just looks a bit sharp. It looks a little bit sharp. That's quite a nice detail shot if you're going to send that image to the florist. It's not going to be the main image that sits on the bride's in the bride's album. It's not going to be, it's not going to be a major part of the album. But it's a shot that the florist might like. So shooting details like this with elements of the wedding in the background that can help a little bit. The only issue that I have over here is also composition. She's right in the middle of the picture. If you had her over here, so it was bouquet over here and bride over here, then it's going to be a better shot, because right here, this space is now wasted space and the bride's kind of growing straight out the flowers over here. I really like the lighting on this shot. I really like it. I like the sort of romantic 1930s or 1940s film aspect to it. It really looks like it's a glamorous couple that have a lot of money, and it looks like a really nice image. I think to make this image perfect, he would be looking at her maybe, just so that there's a little bit of a connection. I like the way that his arm is around her. He's protective. It's telling a story. I like the composition here with the subject on the one side of the image, not necessarily right in the middle, because the columns and the buildings adds to that grandeur, and it adds to the image, and I really like it. And what's nice about this image as well is that it's not easy to get detail in the highlights and detail in the shadows. So the dress is not blown out, and you still have retained detail in the suit. So great exposure, great composition, great image. I just want him to look at her. That's all. I don't mind that shadow.
Perhaps it's better to put an umbrella in her left.
Yeah, but this could have been. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here.
You see under
This shadow here?
Yeah, under the
That
chin.
bothers you?
He's her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one?
He's got a beard.
Ah. No, it's a shadow. So
Whose photograph is it? Do they want to talk about it? Did he have a beard? He had a beard.
okay.
But she didn't have a beard.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's not a possibility. There is no way to.
You could have a reflector from the one side if you want to, but like this here, there's a moment that's happening. You don't really want to interfere with that unless you created that moment. So you could, with the lighting, come with the reflector to fill in a little bit. But if it's working as an image, then you don't really need to worry too much about that. If it's working,
Not so much technique. Yes.
no. As long as if you look at fashion magazines, you can look at these pictures and talk about technique, and you're looking at Mario Testino, and you can say, well, what's that in the background? But who are we to judge, one of the greatest fashion photographers ever?
Understand. I just asked
I'm with you. Understand. This is a lovely detail shot. Whose photograph is this? What is this here in the background? No, nothing's accident. You did that on purpose.
Because the flash didn't work.
Yes, that's good. The flash didn't work because you don't want to use
And
flash.
it's unwanted long time exposure.
Yes.
And seems like Holy Spirit coming from the sky.
Okay.
There is the hand of the priest.
That's the hand of the priest.
Yeah.
I like it because it's interesting. Because people want to know, what is that? I hope, yeah, you know, they look at that and I really like that there's something interesting there and there's some movement because there's contrast between the still life and the movement there. So I really like it. The only small thing that I would worry about is this space over here is a little bit wasted and this piece here is directly in the middle. So if you you can do this now in your post-production, if you brought this to over here, if you brought this to over here, then at least your composition would be better. Because right now your composition, it's dead center.
And the light, it's ambiental
I love it.
from the up side.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very moody and, no, it's nice. Very good. Okay, when I first looked at this image, it looks very contemporary, and I like the fact that there's off-camera flash over here. When I started to look deeper into this image, it became more and more interesting for me because look at these legs. Who's the photographer? Did you know about those legs? Did you put them there on purpose? Oh, you saw it afterwards, but you didn't change your composition because of the legs.
No, it seemed interesting.
So you
to
got
me.
lucky there.
Yes.
Because I like it. I think it's very cool. That's like a mannequin, you know, like in a shop window. I thought that was very nice, and the composition works nicely for me over here. Using flash, off-camera flash, when you are mixing light, can sometimes be a little bit difficult because your flash, the color of your flash is a little bit cold, and your background, you see, because you delayed your shutter a little bit, you dragged your shutter. This is orange, so you've got orange light over here coming from the tungsten, and you've got blue light coming from the flash. So you just need to put a little gel over your flash to get great exposure, great white balance, so that you've got the same type of. If you're using something like this, I'm sorry if I'm shining lights in your eyes, but if you're using something like this, you can control the temperature, the color temperature, and you can see on your subject, you know, where the light is falling, and you can see the different colors. So if you look at that, that's quite blue. Now I can't see anything. And then that's a lot warmer. Now hold on. Yes? Oof. Okay, don't do that to your bride. Okay, now I can't see any more pictures. Okay, this shot over here is nice with the composition. You know, it's not dead center. I would just worry about making sure that you take 3 or 4 frames, because this chap's got his eyes closed and he's really straining to look at you. It's also, if your market, if the people that you are targeting like those pictures and you are successful and you're making money and you're happy and you're content, then that's cool. But these images, these types of poses are quite cliched, and they expected wedding photos. Now, if that's what you want and that's what your client wants, then it's fine. But if you want to make yourself different, if you want your brand to be different in terms of differentiating yourself in the market, then perhaps think of doing things that are not specifically wedding cliched. This was shot with direct flash again. You can see that there's the shadow from the direct flash, and you can see the highlight in his eye, and you can see that the blade has a shadow in front of it as well. So stay away from direct flash when you're shooting things like that. If you're shooting things like this, get your subjects closer to the window. You can move them for one shot. You're posing them, you're saying, look, come over here, the light is much better. If they look at you, if they see that you're thinking about light and that you're not just shooting things randomly, then they're going to have more confidence in you, and you're going to say to them, come across and let's go and shoot over here. Let's go and shoot in this lighting area over here where the light is better. Again, it's quite a cliched wedding image, and if I was kissing a girl that was beautiful like that, I promise you my hand wouldn't be over there. So you need to have intimacy with your couples. I do understand that some couples, the groom is a little bit shy and he doesn't want to show public affection maybe. But there needs to be that connection. There needs to be that romance. This hand just hanging here, it's a big waste. This is a great shot for the makeup artist. The only issue that I have here is that it was shot with direct flash. Whose picture is this? Nobody wants to talk about it. Okay, it's a great pose, it's a great moment. If you didn't use direct flash, it would have been a way better moment. I can see that there's direct flash because your background is so much darker. If you have, and I understand that this is not it's not a sales pitch for getting better equipment and better cameras, but if you do have a camera that can shoot at higher ISOs, then you don't need to use flash, and you can get images that are shot in low light conditions. But the makeup artist is really going to love this picture because of the eyes, and the hairdresser and the florist. So we need to send this to all those people. All right, this image over here, it's trying, the photographer is trying to do something different, which I commend the photographer for. So congratulations on trying to make things different. The only thing that I have here is that it took me a while to find the bride and groom. Was that? Same for you. Yeah, it took you a little while to find and this here is a bit distracting. So either go in tight or change your angle, because this is a bit messy for the shot. But the photographer is trying to do something different. You know, trying to go, instead of your typical wedding photograph, they're trying to go to old buildings and getting a little bit more contrasty in terms of the context of what people think are weddings. Okay, this is very colorful. Yeah, well, it's too colorful for you. She's happy because that's what she chose. The exposure is very good. You've got no loss of detail in the colors. It's a lot of color. You've got no loss of detail in the colors. It's probably shot without flash because the background hasn't gone darker and there's no harsh direct flash shadows. My only suggestion, and I know that this is a moment you're not in control of it, my only suggestion that when you have a bride who is larger than the groom, don't put her in front, because it makes him look smaller and her look bigger. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I know this is a moment, but I'd shoot that, but I wouldn't put it in the album. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Similar situation here. I like the fact that he's a little bit soft in the background, and it shows that you're using good equipment because the background is soft focus. Still using direct flash over here, I think, because there's a spot in her eye that I can see that's direct flash, and there's a highlight on her cheek giving that direct flash away. If you look at the size of her head and the size of his head, they're very similar, which now gives you the impression that perhaps she's bigger than him. So because he's further away and he's out of focus and he's further away, it looks as if their head sizes are about the same, but now you're thinking he's further away. You're thinking she's a lot bigger than what he is. So be careful about things like that. I like the moment in this shot. I just don't understand why we had to tilt it. Your lighting is fine, the moment is fine. I like the interaction between the two of them. We don't have to tilt them. This is, once again, this is my opinion, because when I look in any magazines, the only place that I find tilted pictures is wedding magazines. So it's a wedding cliche. I don't see tilted pictures in fashion magazines, in car magazines, in architectural magazines, only wedding magazines. So it's a bit of a cliche when it comes to weddings. I like the idea here. I like the idea that the grandmother or the mother is watching her daughter or granddaughter getting married. Once again, we've used on-camera flash. So what's happened here is the flash has bounced off the ceiling, and this here, because the mirror is tilted, whoa, because the mirror is tilted, it's illuminated the bride here, and it's dark there, and it's illuminated the grandmother there, and it's overexposed here. So that's the hazards of using on-camera flash. Try and stay away from on-camera flash. It's a nice idea. I like the composition. I like shooting through the veil. The only issue that I have here is it's probably a lens that you're shooting on 5.6 or f8, because both the eyes are in focus, and this net or this veil is too sharp. It needs to be soft and romantic. It's too sharp. She's not really doing anything in this shot. Her head is right in the middle over here. The mirror is in focus and she's out of focus, and she's looking away, and we see too much of the whites of her eyes. And we've used direct flash again. There's the shadow. It's a nice idea, but you need to be focused on her. She needs to be looking at herself. Why is she holding a mirror but looking over there? So think about things like that. Think about the story behind the image. If this bride and groom were a lot closer to us, then they would be separated from the background. You'd be sharp on them and the background would be soft. The background is quite soft at the moment, but if the bride and groom were over here, for instance, it would have made for a lot better picture. So this here to me is wasted space, because if they were over here, we'd have a lot better result. Direct flash. You can see it in the eyes, you can see it in the shadows here, and there's a lot of mixed lighting coming from the spotlights and things like that. So we've got blue light outside, we've got orange light inside, and we've got blue light from the flash. So it's a mixture of different white balances. Maybe just go straight to black and white. And stay away from direct flash. Also, this guy, he doesn't look really interested in what's going on. There's a lot of emotion here. She's all happy, and this could be probably the first dance. But she's all happy and engaged with this chap. This guy really doesn't seem interested. Maybe that's the father-in-law. Okay, so we're back to there now, guys. We've got about a 10. Where's Joe? We've got about a 10-minute questions and answers. What do you want to do? You good?
Dacă aveți întrebări, putem să...
Okay. All right. Just 10 minutes of questions and answers, and then we've got some prize winners over here that we would like to chat about. If you're online, the team from Skin Media will put up the winners from the online competition on their Facebook page as well. Okay, questions?
Are you shooting also church ceremonies and the party after the church?
Yes, I shoot everything.
And
everything.
Which is the most used lens at the church, or also on the
Which
party?
is the most what?
Lens that you use? The lenses.
Oh, the lenses.
Yeah.
I shoot with all the lenses that I have. The 14 to 24, 2.8. 24 to 70, 2.8. 85, 1.4. 70 to 200, 2.8. And sometimes I use the fisheye, the 10.5 fisheye. 80% of the time, maybe even 90% of the time, 70 to 200, 2.8.
See. And at the party, do you have a help? The assistant also shooting some pictures?
No,
or
I
you're
shoot
the
all
only
my
one?
own work. I don't shoot with a second shooter. A lot of people do, but I think that there's a risk to that, because if the second shooter messes up, then it's my responsibility. So I would rather shoot everything myself. 70 to 200, the 2.8 VR. Any more questions?
Yeah, one for me, Brett. I saw that in all your pictures presented today, you go very tight in, so you crop it a lot. I don't know if it's from the camera or if it's from post-production, I don't care. But everything you present is very cropped and very tight in. Is this your style, or you're just going away from the wide because it's more complicated.
No.
You have more elements in a wide picture. And then
I shoot wide when it's necessary. I shoot wide in the church. I shoot wide when I'm shooting groups. I shoot wide when I show the reception hall. So I do shoot wide, but everybody shoots wide. The work I presented to you this morning was the work that differentiates me from other photographers. That's my style that is in addition to everything else that I shoot.
So to put it on short, it's more powerful when you go more tight in a photo. If you present the message right.
Yes. Yes. For me, it's about the subject. It's not about where they are.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I can shoot some stuff here that'll look really, really cool. Because sometimes you have situations where you don't have nice locations, and you have to shoot in difficult conditions. And if you understand lighting, and if you understand how you can use the equipment that you have, you can produce great images in not such great conditions.
True. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes. How maximum ISO you use? Maximum.
10,000 ISO. That shot there, you can have a look at it. That's 10,000 ISO. And now with the D4, they're talking ridiculous numbers that you can shoot. That shot 10,000. Are you scared to use ISO?
No.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You need to. The equipment is made. I do understand that in the past the technology wasn't as great as it is now, but they're making cameras to shoot in low light
But
conditions.
also
now.
you use Photoshop, no?
Yes.
To reduce the noise. No?
Have you shot with the D3s?
Okay.
Have you?
Yes, yes.
And do you get noise?
No.
So what's the problem? Any more questions? Any more questions, guys? Right, everybody's cool. Joe, let's have some winners here.
Yeah.
All right, so
Will you announce the winners?
no, because I can't pronounce the winners.
Okay.
Okay, so all right, I've got 3 DVDs for online, and then I've got 5 DVDs for here. One person will win a complete collection, and then 2 people will win these. And then I've got one of these books to give away, and then my other book as well. So let's do the online ones first. The online ones, the person who wins a light DVD is...
This one? Or
Yeah,
this?
no, this one.
David Darogostajski.
Maybe I would have
Are you
had a
sure?
better-
Are you sure that that's the name?
That's how he spells it.
I don't think he's Romanian. It's David Dorogostajski.
All right. Well done, David.
Ah.
Okay. Then for a second light DVD, we have...
Kelemen Pal Gheorghe. That could be Romanian.
That could be Romanian. And then for the complete collection, it's the London session. For the London Sessions DVD, it is...
Voicu...
Maybe it's my writing.
I can't... it's
This is my writing. I'm sorry.
we'll publish it.
Okay, we'll publish the online ones. Okay, so now let's go for people in the audience. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more. All right. This person here, are they in the audience?
Smiley. No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Okay, the first person to win something here from the audience would be the book, would be this person here.
Enescu Eugen.
Oh, that was easy. Over here. I'll sign it for you afterwards. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. Okay, right. Then the second person. I need more people. Oh, here's audience. Okay, this person here.
Leonard Păun.
Right, up you come there. Thanks, my mate. There you go. Okay, thank you. All right. This one here.
Adrian Baicea.
Not here, he's here. Why are these all boys? Only boys. Okay. Right, and the person winning the complete collection,
Silviu Ionuț.
it's a boy. Okay, thank you, sir. We need a girl. We need a girl to win something. I haven't got any more names here. Shall we have a competition or something? Somebody knows something. Okay, only the girls. Only the girls are allowed to answer. Put your hand up. Don't shout. In what year did South Africa become a democracy? I did tell you. That lady over there, put her hand up first. All right, there we go. Congratulations. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with us. And I'll be around for a couple more minutes afterwards to chat if you want. And then you told them about the workshop tomorrow.
Yeah, I told them about the
Okay, that's
workshop
cool. We
tomorrow.
got the workshop tomorrow. So thank you, guys. Merci. Thank you.
O să mai intervin eu doar foarte puțin. Nu uitați că în spate sunt DVD-urile, dacă vreți să achiziționați. La fel, cei care au câștigat premiile, DVD-urile, aș vrea, dacă se poate, să ne întâlnim puțin în față. Mulțumesc!